Hi, I'm Rachel, and welcome to my channel, Bricoleuse, where I share tips, techniques, and book recommendations from over 25 years working as a costume craftsperson. In my interest poll about topical book reviews, titles on making armor got the most votes, and that's what this video is about. When you talk about armor in a contemporary context, whether it's for performing arts, cosplay, or historical reenactment, you first need to clarify the armor's purpose. Does it protect the wearer in actual combat? Does it look real at close range or under stage lights? Does it mimic the historical armor of a specific culture's warriors or represent a futuristic spacesuit? The most useful reference books will vary depending upon the requirements of the armor you need to make. I'm a costume craftsperson, and the armor I make is usually for stage purposes. It often needs to look real, whether it's inspired by medieval knights or Wonder Woman. It also needs to be lightweight and allow the wearer to perform fight choreography or other movement. So those are the type of books I'll recommend in this video. But if you have an interest in metalworking and creating plate mail from actual pieces of steel, I'll mention a couple titles that will help you get started in that direction as well. My number one recommendation is a title from Maker Media, Props and Costume Armor by Shawn Thorsson, published in 2016. It's a must-own reference manual on a whole host of materials, methods, and techniques for creating such things. This book is written in an accessible way that demystifies a complex and often daunting area of costume production and includes full-color photographs. Thorsson aims the book at a cosplay readership, but the practical concerns of the cosplayer are the same as those of the theatrical costume artist: cost, time, quality, weight, and mobility. I've purchased self-published books on these sorts of topics written by cosplay authors, but the issue with these texts from a professional reference perspective is the potential lack of vetting of the methods and media for industrial health and safety compliance. This book has clearly been edited by an IHS professional for proper practice and PPE recommendations. Thorsson covers everything from the tools and materials you'll need for various processes to movement tips for wearers of costume armor. I have to commend this book for tackling the question of how to assemble armor such that the wearer can conveniently answer the call of nature. The topics and projects range from the simple to the complex, so whatever your skill level and experience coming to the book, there's probably something new to learn. The book also contains sections on applications of digital technologies, from using Pepakura software to create printable PDF patterns to 3D printing and CNC carving of armor and prop shapes. My one tiny quibble pertains to the section on straps, specifically leather strap construction methods. Due to time spent in high-end custom leather work, I'm a bit of a strap snob, as one might surmise from my tutorial video on 3 ways to make stronger leather straps. But this doesn't impact my wholehearted recommendation of this title. The second title is Foamsmith: How to Create Foam Armor Costumes by Doran. Doran is the CEO of Punished Props Academy, a foam armor and prop company run by him and his wife Britt. Foamsmith is the first of 3 books they've published about their techniques for working with EVA foam, primarily sourced from floor mats. They're self-taught artists who have developed their own methods and generously share them with others through their books and YouTube channel, and in workshops and premium videos you can purchase access to on their website, linked below, where they also sell 3D print files, specialized tools, and other merchandise. This is a great resource for cosplayers and other costumers seeking an accessible reference book about how to make cool-looking armor from things you can buy at the hardware store. Kudos to Doran for also addressing that burning question so often overlooked: how do you pee wearing it? I also commend the book for addressing the safety concerns with some of the media and processes discussed, but it's clear that a health and safety expert was not engaged to edit the book for best practices, as the section extolling the virtues of barge makes no mention of the carcinogenic or mutagenic hazards of its fumes. The craftsmanship and techniques are so helpful, though, that I can write a note in the margins to double-check the safety data sheets for all the adhesives and paints recommended, and ask my EHS officer about any methodology that gives me pause. The third title is Basic Armouring, A Practical Introduction to Armor Making by Paul Blackwell, published in 2002. This is essentially a manual for fighters in the Society for Creative Anachronism who are considering making their own armor. Blackwell writes about how to make metal plate armor meant to be worn by real people who are actually going to hit each other with sticks and clubs and rattan canes and other sword-like objects. It's worth having even if you don't plan to work in steel or fight in armor, because he includes patterns and instructions that are valuable for adaptation to thermoplastic or foam or fiberglass or other costume construction materials. Blackwell's book is available as a free PDF you can download at the link in the video description. I printed mine out and put it in a 3-ring binder for tabletop reference. I mentioned at the beginning of this video that I'd also cover titles for creating functional, historical metal armor reproductions, and clearly Blackwell's book does that. But there's another title worth looking at if that's your niche. Techniques of Medieval Armor Reproduction, the 14th Century, by Brian R. Price, published in 2000. This book has an extremely narrow focus, but it covers the making of armor in this time and place in granular detail. And that concludes the best books, in my opinion, for learning to make different types of costume armor. If you decide to explore the craft of armor making further, please comment with your experience. I'd love to see photos of the pieces you create. This video is part of the Costube Does Booktube challenge, for which channels contribute videos about recommended books on costume-related subjects. This is an open-ended challenge, and anyone can create a video to participate. Include the hashtag in your video description, and comment to be added to the playlist, which you can check out here for more great book recs.